Okay, evening everybody. I hope that you're all well. Let me just check. I should be coming through okay for audio. Obviously, you would let me know, I hope. There we go. Yeah, that's working. Right, so I'll just, hi Bill, hi Matt. Great to have you all with us. I just give you a quick whiz bang through the what's going to happen in May. I've sent out the links to the classes. I've just had 25 bookings in the last hour, which is a record. But having said that, I think we can call that pent up demand. Now, I the way it works is there's two sets of tickets. There's tickets that you can buy, and there's tickets that you can book for free. If you've got cards and you want to use up the cards, you get a free ticket. Similarly, so if you want to replenish your cards, so we're just going to go back to normal on that score. Or alternatively, you can book directly and pay through Eventbrite. I've just popped into the comments a link to the May calendar, which has got all the information in it. Let me just follow that myself, and then we can have a look at it. And so what it does is it's got various different columns for both the online and the offline classes, the in-person classes. And as you can see, I am broadcasting from some of the in-person classes. So that will be fun. Now, I've made it as explanatory as I can, but feel free to ask questions. You just send me a message on WhatsApp or an email, talking of which I'll just check to make sure everybody's found their way in tonight. Yes, that seems to have worked. Right then, so onto the topic for tonight, which is, you may think, what's this? Those of you that are people that don't necessarily find visualization easy might be a little bit concerned at the title, the Forest Lake meditation. But what it is, it's a kind of extension of a lot of the things that we've been doing for a while now, and it's a way of, one of the many different ways of not working with our emotions directly, but meditating in a way that emotions become less of a problem, essentially. So going back to basics, I keep going back to basics in slightly different ways. In fact, I keep going back to basics in a more basic way, and I think that's probably the way to go. I'm minimizing. I'm a great believer in that. And minimizing meditation, I think I've come to the final minimization of meditation in a definition in a video that I produced the other day that was prompted by a student, and it's called A Guide to Meditation, and it's I just sat down and did a little explanation, no preparation like usual, and I noticed that I had kind of extended my definition of meditation to be learning to focus our awareness so that we become familiar with the mind. That's it, really. Now, the most important thing to remember is what the mind is. I've done a reasonable amount of study. There's a branch of psychotherapy that Martin sent me a link on, and it's proving to be quite effective. And when I read what they were doing, yes, it is quite effective, because what it actually does is really what meditation does, which is to take this experience of the mind, which draws in everything external and our needs and wants and desires and how other people perceive us, or rather how we perceive they perceive us, and our goals and whether we're going to succeed or fail or be right or wrong, or whether we're good or bad or whatever. It doesn't matter. The mind just comes up with this stuff, and it grows and grows and becomes bigger and bigger and draws all of this in, and it draws our experiences in to the point where when somebody's suffering, let's say you're feeling anxiety, there's an example. If I speak to that person, they don't tell me about the anxiety. They tell me about the thing that's causing the anxiety. And this is where I would have been, absolutely. I spent a lot of time blaming the rest of the world for what was going on in here. And I don't believe we have absolute responsibility for the modern mind. It's not. It's what we've learned, but we can unravel it. And when we unravel it, what are we left with? I remember Eckhart Tolle. I went along to. I'm sorry. I'm doing that thing where I don't stay on track and then kind of unravel it and come right back. I went along and listened to him at the Troxy a few years ago now. Must have been about 10 years ago, something like that. And maybe not that long. And he said, "What is life?" He said, "Everything is thoughts, emotions, and sense perceptions." And that's not completely everything, but it's like 99.99% of it. The things that he missed out were action and intuition and choice and a few other little bits and bobs. But most of our day is thoughts, emotions, and sense perceptions. Sense perceptions is our perception of the external world, and the thoughts and emotions are our mind. What they are the messages from the subconscious. And the other thing, of course, is that there's an awareness that's aware of this. And this is, the kind of let's lead everybody towards it element of teaching meditation. And one of the reasons for that is that in here, Robert said, pointing at his head for the benefit of those that are on Podbean or on a podcast, in here is thoughts, emotions, and an awareness. That's it, really. So, and of course, they're all, there's a maelstrom of responses to what's going on outside. But the more we learn to recognize that is our ultimate reality, the lighter our lives become, and the less we suffer. And the more we can become fulfilled, because fulfillment is is what it's all about. It's happiness, gaining fulfillment from neutral experiences, as the Dalai Lama says. And so this is where the focus and awareness comes in. So there's one awareness. The meditation is we're training to focus it. And you can focus it any way you wish. But we need to learn to do that, because that's not part of our cultural training. We do, don't. There's no lessons in focusing our awareness at school. There's lessons in lots of other things, but not that. So, having said all of that, it's probably time to teach this meditation. And you'll see why I call it the Forest Lake meditation. Now, you don't necessarily need to visualize. So if you're a person that struggles visualizing, don't bother trying. So it's not a battle to visualize. There's a sense of being that we adopt when we're in certain places, top of a mountain, beach, by a lake in the forest, because we're designed for those places. So when we find those places, it's like, here I am. So that's where human beings like to live. So if you just want to get yourselves comfortable, we'll open the portal to the present moment with the sound of the bell as it moves through time. So by joining the meditation and joining the meditation group, we're giving ourselves permission. We're releasing ourselves from the need to focus on what the modern external world chooses, and instead allowing our mind to exercise its awareness of the present moment experience. And we can start by becoming lightly aware of the breath. It's not a deep focus on the breath, but the breath is now part of our present moment. Awareness. We're noticing the rhythm of the breath. And there is sound. That sound continuing to move through the present moment. As one sound moves into another. And as we observe the progress of the present moment. So at the moment this is a light touch awareness. Light touch awareness of the breath. Light touch awareness of sound. And a light touch awareness of our body. And whatever tension there is there. So this becomes a rebalancing, the beginning of a rebalancing of our physiology. And we'll come back to it during the practice. Whatever position you're in, however you're sitting, you can bring your attention to those parts of the body that accumulate tension. And with an awareness of the breath lightly in the background, we're noticing those places of tension as we breathe out. So if you're not very experienced with this, the places to look are the back and sides of the neck, the shoulders, the back, the face, the hands. And so our attention very lightly shines on all of those places in the body, one by one, noticing the out-breath when we're aware of it. And we readjust. Readjust our posture, ideally into an open, balanced and relaxed posture, with the elbows by the sides, head balanced comfortably on top of the spine, tongue in contact with the back of the top teeth, sharp part of the bottom teeth. Eyes either closed or half closed, looking down at 45 degrees with a soft gaze. So we're focusing our awareness not in a logical, methodical manner, but our awareness is drawn to wherever there's tension. Where we rest our awareness as we notice the out-breath. Belly rising, belly falling. Very soft and gentle practice. Possibly fingers and thumbs in contact, just at the fingertips. So lightly that you could slide a cigarette paper between them. So now, if you're a visual person, bring to mind a forest lake. And bring to mind the sense of sitting near the shore with your back against a tree. So without visualizing, what I'm doing is checking in with my body for that feeling, that sense, physical sensation that arises when I'm in that place. So there's the sense of being on a beach. There's a sense of being in a park, on a pavement. A sense of being on a mountain. And there's a sense of being seated beneath a tree by a lake in the forest. And we can feel the tree against our back. And we found a nice mossy seat between the roots. To sit on. It's as if it's been placed there to sit on. and we can feel the breeze. We can see the sky. There's the clouds moving across the sky. There's the reflection of the clouds moving across the lake. There's the leaves and branches hanging down all around us, swaying in the breeze. There are birds. The fish are jumping. Insects buzzing by. The cycle of life playing out around the lake. And there's the sense, the sensation of this place. So human friendly. Almost as if we were designed for it. And as we sit there, breathing in and out, noticing the smell of the forest, noticing the gentle breeze, hearing the sounds of the birds and the breeze in the trees. We allow the sensation of the breath to draw more of our attention into it. We're still aware that we're there. We haven't stepped out of that environment. There's a sense of being there in nature. But our awareness is on the breath. Gently rising and falling. Now checking in with the physiology again. Just allowing your awareness to rest on those places where tension arises. And anything that's crept in, releasing it on the out breath. And now bringing our attention to the space between the eyes. In the same way we were noticing the breath, in the same way we were noticing the lake, now we're noticing the space between the eyes. And what we're noticing is how neutral it is. How it's a place of balance. In the same way that with the breath we can't distinguish between good and bad breaths. Similarly with the space between the eyes, it brings nothing with it other than this sense of balance. And still there's this awareness externally. The lake, the birds, the trees, the smell, the sensation of being seated beneath the tree. And so we're witnessing the space between the eyes. We're witnessing the breath. We're witnessing what we can see and hear and smell and taste. And we're allowing ourselves to be aware now of where we're witnessing it from, which is this place behind the eyes, just above and between them. This is the point in space from which we are aware of our experience, internal and external. And from that point in space, which I call the inner eye, we're noticing the space between the eyes. Just a gentle awareness. Notice there's no goal or expectation or desire or need or want. Nothing to resist. There's the awareness in the inner eye, and there is what it is aware of, the space between the eyes, the third eye. And again, just noticing the tension. This time from the inner eye. We're aware of the tension and we're releasing it with the out breath, letting go of it. And we're also noticing whatever thoughts and emotions there are. If the thoughts are intense and powerful, we'll notice those. If the emotions are intense and powerful, we'll notice those. And we release them with the out breath. The same as with the tension, because it's all part of the same connection in our bodies. Stress, anxiety, worry, thoughts, emotions, sensations. When noticing if there's any anxiety, noticing it as we breathe out. If there are powerful thoughts, we're noticing the thoughts as we breathe out. If there's tension in the body, noticing the tension as we breathe out. There's still bird song. The fish are still jumping. The trees are still swaying in the breeze. And the breath still rising and falling. Gently letting go of the thoughts, the emotions, and the tension, all on the out breath. Belly rising, belly falling. And now returning your attention to the breath, wherever it's comfortable for you the most. Movement of the belly or the nostrils. And then checking in with the body. Letting out any tightness that arises. Just releasing it. And very slowly and softly and gently allow yourself to become aware of your surroundings. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I kind of figured out over the lockdown, and they're things that, because we get, I mean, I do anyway, I get involved when I'm meditating. I get involved in the process, the meditation practice, what happens, what arises, so on and so forth, the detail of it. There's a couple of things that I've been doing all along, and a lot of other people have been doing all along as well, and we don't tend to credit them with the effect that they have. And one is actually group meditation, and the other is meditating in nature. So there's two consequences of that. One is that these natural meditations like the mountain stream and the forest lake, what they're doing is they're enabling us to connect in our meditation in the way that we do when we're in nature. And the other thing is that we're going to do more meditations in the park over summer. So what I want to do is get it so that essentially it's a park meditation, unless the weather's bad, in which case we will meditate in the mansion. And we'll probably be able to do the same thing at Chantry Studios with Norman Park. So we'll primarily meditate in the park, and if that doesn't work because of the weather, then we can meditate in Chantry Studios. Because I think if there is a silver lining to the cloud of the pandemic, it's the recognition of the nature and the parks being as useful as they are. So Maxine says that that's the best. Thank you very much indeed, Maxine. Glad you enjoyed that. I enjoyed teaching it. I learned it when I was teaching a student the other day. I don't know if she's online. Hi there. If you are, if not, don't worry about it. Okay, so back for the meditation course class tomorrow night, and then in line with the calendar from now on, which pretty much stays the same between now and May. And I may have to update the May calendar, at which point I'll let you know. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Hope you're all well. Deepest blessings. Have a great evening, and catch up with some of you tomorrow. And looks like Judith enjoyed that one as well. That's great. Thanks very much. Good night, everybody.